Good morning, Parth.
Yeah, so I'm ready for the session.
Okay,
So, yeah.
Abhishek, to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Kunal. Parth, Abhishek this side. Can you share your screen? Are you able
Yes,
to
yes.
share your screen?
Yes. Just a minute. Yeah. Yes. So, hope my screen is visible to you all.
No, not yet. Uh, Parth Pratim has shared the screen sharing. Shared the screen sharing. Can you change the slide so that if there is anything?
Yeah.
Parth, we are not able to see your screen.
Is it
Yeah.
now?
Not yet.
No.
But it's showing. Okay.
It is
View
showing that
screen.
Parth Pratim has started screen sharing.
Already done. Okay. Let's see.
Uh, so what
Okay.
you can do is you please mail that presentation to me so that me and
Kunal,
Abhishek will coordinate.
Okay. Let's try it once again.
Yeah, sure. What you can do is you can leave the meet and again join.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean,
Yes.
can you
Now
check?
it is visible.
Now it's visible. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
so a warm welcome to you, Parth, to our program.
Thank you.
A warm welcome to all the participants as well for this day 5 of this program. I will shortly introduce Parth and then we can start the session. Parth, there will be questions from the participants during your talk as well as maybe after your talk, and then I will ask their questions on their behalf to you at the end of the session.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's my great pleasure to introduce you, Parth, to our program. Mr. Your name is, your full name is Mr. Parth Pratim Das Mahapatra. So you have completed your MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, specializing in information technology. After working in MNCs in India and abroad, you have started your own company with the mission of doing something for the society. You are also the co-founder and CEO of Azres Health Tech Private Limited. Azres is medical technology and biotech startup started in 2018. Your startup develops and manufactures highly advanced medical devices and innovative solutions designed for the effective management of curative and preventive healthcare. The startup has developed a biomedical device which can detect anemia, predict liver and lung problems within 1 second and in the cost of just 1 rupees, and without even taking a single drop of blood from the human body. This can lead to an early detection of health problems and can save secondary and tertiary healthcare expenses. You have also won Gold Award at the Arohan Social Innovation Awards in 2019 for developing this innovative medical device. As an information technology consultant, you are working closely with Fortune 500 clients to provide technology-based solutions. So with that, I now invite you for your talk.
I thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to participate this great event. So I'll start in maybe the different way. So let's start my startup. Okay. Then probably we can go for a question answer session. Then it will give you the more clarity. So prior to this, coming to the startup journey. So as you introduced, so I have around 10 years of experience in IT. So started career in Capgemini and moved to different companies, different locations, but always having in a mind, like I want to do something. And I am from a typical rural Bengal, and I saw in my family, my parents are, my parents, my societies, people, everyone, people went to the doctors when they have only the problem. And that creates a huge issues in India. People believe in the curative healthcare approach instead of the preventive healthcare approach. So here the idea is like, can we do something where we can detect some biggest problem in very earlier disease? So we can save money, we can save time and all. So that's the journey, that's the motivation to start EasyRx. So EasyRx stand for easy for the prescription. So it's basically a medtech and biotech startup where we work for innovating some of the medical devices and some healthcare solutions. If you see the problem of our country, the national problem is anemia. Delayed detection of anemia, liver and the lungs problem is resulting a loss of more than 1 lakh's lives in every year. If you see in India, we lose 200 children in every hour, not in year. We lose 200 children in every hour because in our country, doctor and patient ratio is very high, and detecting the problem in a last mile locations are very, very difficult. 2 out of 3 women in our country are anemic. And parallel to the anemia, there is a big problem called liver problem. So liver problem indicates jaundice, cirrhosis, hepatitis, alcoholic fatty liver and all. 1 million people every year in our country are getting the liver problems. And if you ask the question to anyone, like, did you have any liver problem? Then there is a chance of 99.99% people will say, yes, I have the acidity problem, I have the gastric problem and all. The third biggest problem in our country is, the pulmonary issues, breathing issues, premature heart disease and all. So 23% of the death in our country is directly linked with oxygen saturation. So here, what I want to say is, there are 3 major problems in our country. One is anemia, second one is the liver problem, and third one is the lungs problem. Focusing on these 3 problems, if you deep dive, then you can see, like, if we can identify this problem in very earlier days, then there is a solution. People can, live very happily. But the problem is, if we not identify the anemia and if we don't have any kind of precautions, then this pregnant woman leads to, the mother generate, unfit baby. And in the later stage, when she reach to 40, 45 and all, then there is a high chance to get the heart problem and the other diseases. As well as in the liver problem, if we can identify the liver abnormalities in very earlier days, then medicine is the only way to, cure the issues. Or else in a later stage, he or she has to go for operation, maybe the gallbladder stone, the fatty liver and all. Same in the oxygen saturation. But why the problem? Why this is the major problem, and why not people are going to the nearest medical facilities and do the test? Because we don't have the facility. If we also focus on the COVID, so in the current COVID situation, what is the biggest problem? Biggest problem is we don't have enough capacity to test the huge population. And if you see the coronavirus infection in the symptom, then you can see the temperature, shortness of the breath, and the later stage, the gastrointestinal problem and the severe, the kidney failure, and finally the death. So there is also some parameter like oxygen saturation, like bilirubin, hemoglobin, and the temperature also can give you a value addition and give you the metrics to see the pre-screening of people. Focusing on all these issues and the actual problem of our country, what we realized, like hemoglobin, bilirubin, and oxygen saturation detection is very, very needed for the at least the last mile people. And focusing on that, we built a device called EasyCheck. This is our Model 2 device actually. So in this device, it's purely a non-invasive and contactless device where we can measure hemoglobin, bilirubin, oxygen saturation within less than 5 seconds and without taking a single drop of blood from the human body. So the process is pretty simple. Like we have the device, like in this presentation, we have one small device. It's like a remote, and then we have a mobile app. So it's Android-based device where if you can open the application, then it will ask you the patient details. Then it will tell you to place your finger into the device. And when you place your finger, it started capturing the data. And then finally it generates the value. Interestingly, this report can transfer anywhere in the world. Like a village-based people data can be transferred to a city-based hospital within less than a minute. But the technology is very simple. The technology is, we have one light source, the light go off and it touch to the finger. When light back to the 90-degree back to the spectrometer, so you have one spectrometer, then it's calculate the absorption based spectroscopy and generate the value. On top of that, we have one AI model which is running in the cloud and it will generate the final value. Now, if you can see the unique selling proposition or maybe the advantages of the device, then it's purely non-invasive. So we are not taking a drop of blood. Secondly, is pretty affordable, is accessible. It will give you the the result instantly. So the doctor can take the decision making very faster, and it can generate the employment in the lower bottom of the pyramid, and it's very easy to operate. So without any pathological background, people can run it. So if you see the competitive advantage, then the entire cost, if I go to a rural place, then hemoglobin and bilirubin measurement cost is around 250 rupees. Now here it's less than 1 rupees, or let's say take it up 5 rupees. So we are basically selling this device to B2B. So then my B2B client can charge maximum of the 5 rupees. But the major impact is the time. So here is 6 to 8 hours journey is converting to 1 minute maximum or less than 5 seconds. So the process we follow, like one patient has to go to the doctor, then doctor will refer to the pathology, then pathology to the test. After 1 day, he or she will give the report. So the entire journey taking around 1 to 2 days, typically in rural places around 3 days. So here it's an instant test for these two parameters. Now we have the target groups. We focus on the healthcare fraternity, as well as after this COVID happened, also we focusing on the non-healthcare fraternities. Like in healthcare, our primary customers are doctors, hospital, private hospital, clinics, primary health center, diagnostic center, CSR and the NGO partners, and the blood banks. But in the public places also we can place the device, so it will give you the value of temperature, of oxygen saturation, hemoglobin and bilirubin. So it will give you a the idea how the stage of your health is. In this 2-year journey, we got many awards. We got like Tata Social Enterprise Challenge Award, Gold Award from Infosys Foundation, ASSOCHAM Launchpad Award, then CSRD, we are the top impactful startup. We are funded by many state government and the central government organizations like Indian Oil, like BIRAC, DBT BIRAC, then DST and all. It's my team and advisors. We have 6 team members having electronics, IT, a biomedical combination of the people. And in advisory team, we have Dr. Mrityunjay sir from KIT TBI. We are incubated in KIIT. My financial advisor is Mr. Rajkumar Sutrato, he is from Singapore, and Dr. Surajit Bose is my medical advisor. So, in my technology partner, I have TIFAC, University of Dundee, SN Bose, investor and partners. There are many people like government people like NRDC, Indian Oil, and all. So that's the small introduction in the presentation. Now I'll show you one small video. Maybe is it visible to you all, guys?
Yes, it is visible.
It's a small video, just make for you guys just in morning today, because we earlier have one version 1 device where we send the light into the eye and measure the whole things like hemoglobin and bilirubin. But this is a new device. We are just completed 1 month, prior to just 1 month.
Pratim, we are able to see we are seeing rather the presentation or second last slide of your presentation, but not the video.
Oh, okay. Wait. Yeah. Now I think it's visible, right?
Yes, it is.
So here, it's pretty simple. Just placing your finger and giving you the value. So just I want to show you like how it works. Now I can share you another video where the device was selected in the earlier version of the device. Just allow me a moment. And initially we have a device where we send the light into the eye. So then then it will give you all these parameters. So it was a costly device. Then we worked last 1 year, make a new version of the device. Just a minute. Yeah. Is it visible to you all?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Although we don't have the audio, but I think this problem happened before as well. So,
Sorry?
we don't hear any audio.
Sorry?
We don't hear any audio, but video we can see.
Yeah, that is fine, I guess. Anyway, subtitles are there.
Sorry, come again.
Subtitles are there. There is, I guess, inherent problem that we cannot, that is, the video is not audible from earlier sessions as well. So there won't be an issue. You may please continue. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So now I think if you can go to one question session, then it will be great. So then more interaction will happen.
Okay, sure.
Thanks, Pratim. I had one question. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very innovative and very useful device for India, especially for village people living in villages. So, what are your plans to expand, scale it up? This thing.
Yeah. So in the last year, we delivered some units to Government of India, and you know the initial version what I showcased in the last video. This is a you know, the cost is around 3 lakhs rupees of the device. It's a very not very portable, and in not at also it's very, you know, usable in an area where like ASA workers is moving one door to another. So then this journey happens in last 1 year. We converted this entire 3 lakhs rupees device to a 35,000 rupees device. Now, so this year we already had some sign with some agencies, some government projects. So this year we are targeting to place 500 device, and then subsequently in the 3 years we are targeting 5,000 devices. So started talking with various government projects, started talking with various hospital clinics. Um, Also, we are creating some of the, you know, the channel partners in various states. So that's the thing now. So this year we are targeting 500 devices, and we created one company in Singapore and started exploring the market of Southeast Asia and the South African market as well. So Peru, Kenya, and the country like Congo, we are also targeting in next quarter.
That's very good. I had one more question. Like you explained that it uses Internet of Things as well. So can you
Yeah.
explain bit further how this things works, or like how this Internet of Things is helping?
Yeah. So see, today, the era of IoT, the thing is like when we are capturing the data from the spectrometer, then the IoT sensor. So we use Arduino here. Arduino Atmega. So through this Arduino Atmega is transferred this spectrum to the mobile app. So it's a, also we have a U blocks. So through Arduino Atmega, it send the signal to the U blocks Bluetooth ICs, and then the mobility is the great nature in our country, in the globe right now. So if anything in your mobile today, then you can send these messages and this video, send anything to anywhere. So you also try to leverage these existing technologies. And now today we have these three parameters: hemoglobin, bilirubin, and oxygen saturation. But we applied a new patent recently for detecting blood sugar, non-invasively blood sugar, and the uric acid. So these two are in the clinical trials phase right now. Probably within a short span of time, in the same platform, same hardware platform, will come with a more number of parameters. Additionally, we are continuing two different projects. Still, they are both these projects are in the clinical trial stage. One project where we are detecting the oral cancer from the mouth. If somebody have some, what I say is the white patches or some problems in the mouth, then we can easily detect, is it cancer or is it a normal thing. Also, third project we are working to detect the urinal bladder cancer from the urine. Only 4 drops of urine, and then we are detecting the urinal bladder cancer. These two projects in the cancer-related projects are still in the clinical trial. But in the last project, we are working with University of Dundee, Scotland. So as a company, the target is building one simple platform where we can detect many parameters in very affordable way. So if something is identified as in some health parameter, then he can go and recheck. Let somebody identify it, let's say having some high bilirubin, then he can go for a liver function test. So then it can identify somebody have the gallbladder stone, or some have the cirrhosis or hepatitis. As well as same, maybe in future, if we are predicting somebody like he or she is in diabetic, then she or he can go for a confirmatory test of, let's say, the HbA1c and all. So that's the idea. So where small device, very affordable, you go, you place your finger, and within a minute you realize what the problem you have.
In the meantime, I will ask the participants to kindly ask any question if you have in the chat box. We have one question from Mr. Vijay Kumar. He's asking the price of the device, I think, which you have already mentioned, and availability, and any links which you can send regarding this availability.
So the current business model is we are selling the device in the cost of 35,000 rupees, and then it's having a SaaS model. So per test we are charging 5 rupees. So let's you buy one device, then what you have to do is, you have to recharge the portal. So it's a rechargeable model. So initially you have to buy, let's say 100 tests, then you finish 100 tests, again you have to buy next some number of tests, then it go on.
We have another question from participant, Mr. Vaibhav Arya. He's asking how you brainstorm to this idea. I think you may be asking how you reach to this point that you got
this
this
is
idea.
a very good question actually.
He's also asking why a device, not a mobile app, if not blood required.
Sorry. Yeah, should I go and check the chat box?
I don't understand what you mean by the second line.
Okay. Okay, somebody DS Barbole, he mentioned one question like, is it the Nadi Parikha like device? No, it's purely a physics. The Raman spectroscopy. So we are using a spectroscopy here, and top of the spectroscopy we are running a AI model. Here we are using different algorithm like linear regression, like decision tree, like ridge regression, all kind of the algorithm we are using here. So it's not like a Nadi Parikha, it's purely a physics, optics, and then top of that running a AI model. The next question is how you brainstorm to this idea why a device, not a mobile app is not blood required. Sorry, why a device, not a mobile app, if not blood required? Yeah. Good question. There are many people already tried. I think 12 years ago, Samsung already tried this using through the mobile app. Okay, but see, when we are dealing with healthcare, one thing we have to keep in mind is the accuracy, because you are giving a decision making to somebody's life. So, you know, it's not a pretty simple technology. Definitely, it's a very complex technology, and um, many companies. I don't want to take the name, but okay, let's take some name. Let's say Philips have one device called BiliCheck. This is used to measure the neonatal bilirubin. There is another company called Massimo from Sweden. They have one device. They measure hemoglobin and oxygen saturation. But you know the problem is using the image processing and some other based technology is basically detecting all those parameters through your skin color. Most of the people are doing the skin color and the image processing. But it's very unfortunate for this technology in India, because if you travel from north to south, then there are many type of skin color, black, I can say semi-black, bright and all. So that's why all these foreign technology are fail in this domain, specific domain in the non-invasive place. So that's why only mobile app is not, not ideal to make these things happen. The device is required, and why you are using a mobile app only for using the mobility. If we can place a small display in the device, then also it's visible. But we thought today, the era of mobility, we should use the same device.
So,
Yeah.
just to interrupt you, to get me to clear how it works. So, the data. So you measure this device with with this device, and this device is connected with internet, and it transfers the data to an app, and that data can be viewed anywhere on the app, anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah. So device don't have anything in internet. It's have only the Bluetooth. Because if you travel to a place like Himachal Pradesh or maybe the Northeast, then there is no internet. So what it works is basically through the Bluetooth, this goes to your mobile app. So mobile app, we have two facilities. One is the online and another is the offline. So let's say you are in some place where there is no internet, then the data storage and everything will be happening offline. So you can see the data. Then online, what will happen, like if you're online, then your data is going to the cloud and storing for your historical trends. Let's say somebody come after 5-6 tests and he wants to see how the progress. Let's say the diabetes is, let's say the hemoglobin, what is the hemoglobin trends in last 6 months? For that cases, we need some historical data. So in the cloud, it's storing your historical data, but the app is also running in offline. Hope it's clear.
Just adding to that question, I have one query. Is that for a particular person, what details you take from that person while before going for the testing? Like if somebody is coming, or if there is a row of people, many people are there. So do you take their names or any other data so as to identify in the future whether that person has already checked using your device or what?
No. We are not checking like this. See, we are selling this device to B2B mode. So let's say you are a hospital. You buy this device. So then you have the patient ID. So you can enter through the patient ID and all those things.
Okay,
right?
okay. So that facility is there to enter something specific to that person.
Correct.
Okay.
But now what we are making is we make the Aadhaar card number and the phone number.
Okay. So I guess that will be a unique way to utilize it across the country.
Correct.
Okay.
Because also we have to focus on the other point, like the data, the data security and the data protection.
Right.
Mr. Bhal Singh is asking another question. Is it something like a wrist band?
No. It's like kind of the biometric device. It looks like a TV remote, okay, and have a light source. So you have to place your finger there. It's not like a wristband. So we can make the wristband. The problem is again the body color. See, when light travel from one medium to another, then the intermediate, layer can create the interference, right? So if it is not unique, then it will create some issues. So if somebody have the melanin content, less melanin content, then he is bright. If somebody have more melanin content, then he is black. So then due to this melanin content, the penetration depth of the light may varies from one person to another. So that's why we never think like a wristband. Okay, next question is, it's a non-invasive method. So why to go for a device? Okay,
Yeah, you already answered that.
Yeah. What about certifications of the device, where and how we can do? Yeah, this is a very good question. So in India, the process is you have to complete your clinical trial in a hospital setup where the hospital already have a permission from the Medical Council of India, like they can run an ethical committee. So this ethical committee will give you a chance to do the clinical trial, and then after the clinical trial, you submit all this report, and based on the clinical trial data, you can go to the CDSCO, one department of health. Part of the FDA. So then the CDSCO is a governing body who can identify what class of your device is. Is it class A, class B, class C, and class D? And based on that, they will give you the permission. So in India, CDSCO certificate is only required for non-invasive device, subject to the other certification is required for other classes. So we have CDSCO, and then we have ISO 13485. Now we applied for the European CE for the tapping the other market like US and UK and the Europe. But it's a very good question. Okay.
I think we missed this question from Vaibhav Arya, that how do you came to this idea? How do you brainstorm to this idea?
Yeah, see, by profession, I am a data scientist, and fortunately, I worked out of these 10, 11 years of my journey. 6 years I worked for the healthcare companies, like the big pharma companies like pharmacy, like Dr. Reddy, like Sanofi, and all. And I always work for a data analytics model. So what happened? No, I tried many things in the healthcare. But the good thing is, like, one day I saw in a newspaper some professors in Kolkata who is trying to make non-invasive detection of hemoglobin. I visit his place and I try to understand what you are doing. Okay. And then that's the you can say the bootstrap of thinking was started, and finally we make the device. And always we try to focus on the hemoglobin, because today, I'm not criticizing the governing body, government and other entities, but today, when you see the huge problem in the healthcare, especially for the women, because the one generation, then the second generation, third generation, all are coming from our mother, right? So the first focus to make a healthy society is to make a healthy mother. If you have the healthy mother, then only healthy child can come. Or else, through the Anganwadi or any other places, if you only give the food to the child, then it's not create any impact. Okay, so the pure problem is the hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is a major issue, and that's why we focus on the hemoglobin. And in my family, my parents are both are heart patient. And I think, is there anybody from the rural background, then they can say income per capita in our country, typically who in a family, let's say somebody is working per daily basis, let's say 500, 600 rupees income, then it's very difficult to survive if somebody have a big problem like a heart disease, cancer, or this kind of thing, right? So always I have a mind something like, can we do the early detection? that's the initial thought. If a family having an income of monthly 5, 6, 10,000 rupees and one big issue came, then it's completely gone. I mean, they sell their property, they sell their everything, who actually, I mean, what they make in last couple of years. So that's a big impact. If you do something for the socio-economic, I mean, it will give you the both the impact, right? So that's the focus for the, you can say the primary healthcare, because I am from the rural background and my family is a middle class family. I mean, when I was in college, so my mom got the, you know, heart problem. Then the root cause is hemoglobin. And then subsequently, I talked with many people, and the major issue is this. So that's the idea, and that's the spark, you can say, as a problem statement.
Thank you, Parth, for explaining in detail. I
Uh,
had one more question.
yeah. Abhishek, you please continue, then I'll ask.
Okay. So you said that it is also helpful in detection of cancer. So what type of cancers can be detected with this device?
Yeah, that's completely a different product. Okay, where we focus on two cancer. One is oral cancer, and second one is the urinary bladder cancer.
Yeah, Kunal, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, during your journey, what difficulties did you face at any particular stage that you can share with all of us, so that obviously there is a good thing that one should learn from others, what we can say, difficulties or whatever problems one has faced. So that will be very
Yeah.
helpful for the participants.
Yeah,
If you can
right.
share that experience.
So so you know the journey only having the difficulties. So the entrepreneurship journey is full of the difficulties. Okay. Uh, Today people will say, I think today's topic also Atmanirbhar Bharat somewhat is there, right? So you know how the country will make, will be Atmanirbhar if everybody are Atmanirbhar, then only, right? But today, if you ask a question, somebody from the B school or maybe the engineering college, if he or she started thinking, I should start my startup, then immediately many questions will come in a mind. First question is my family is support this idea or not? Or maybe they will look for some multinational MNC job and all. So this is one. Second one is, if anyway I convince to my family, then the second question is, if I fail, then how will I survive? I mean, there are many people already for you who are ready to, um, what I say is, they're ready to see your failure and start criticizing you, right? So the big mistake, if you mean not mistake, let's say if you are a failure in the society, then there is a less chance to come back and start the new thought. So in my journey, when I was passed out in my college, so then immediately I started on startup, and obviously it fell. After 10 months of journey, it was fell, and there's a huge criticize from the family, from the society, from all friends, everywhere. So then I moved to the job, and again after 10 years I come back to my what is my the first destination. But again in EasyRx we face huge difficulties. First one is the place like Kolkata. Um, it's a very difficult place to to do something where many type of people are involved. So like a hospital connection, then the connection to the different industries, different people. So, the money is one problem. Second problem is the good mindset of the people, identify the good mindset of the people. Third is the collaborating with the different stakeholders. So all this problem was there. So what we did is, I mean, we are fortunate. We got some of the incubation center like KIIT Bhubaneswar. We talked and we joined as an incubator. Then all this problem was, most of the problem was resolved. So I can convey one message, like when I started my first venture and when I am now, if I compare, then most of the difficulties we can solve through the incubation center. Today, every part of the country have the incubation places. So I can tell you all these people who are actually thinking like I want to do something, I want to do my own and all kind of basic things. Then they can go to an incubation center. So incubation center facilities, they have the laboratories, probably they have the good set of people, they have a smaller funding. So this kind of facilities already started. And I am also sure um, India will be the Atmanirbhar Bharat very soon, because in my incubation center, I saw 174 companies, and every day people coming like big ideas, new ideas, and then they're getting the seed fund, they have the good mentor. So now the chances is wider compared to the earlier days.
Very good. Parth, I had one more question.
Yeah.
Uh, you had this great idea, but for manufacturing all these devices, do you get any support from like how do you manufacture these devices?
Yeah. So that's big difficulties when company will scale up in India, typically in eastern part of the country. So what we are doing is we don't have the PCB manufacturing facilities. So we are dependent on some companies. We have some partner companies. So where we are manufacturing the PCBs, and then we do the quality testing, assembly, and these things in our own setup. So maybe in future we'll think through that part.
Okay, this is regarding again on the same line of my earlier question. So, during your journey, did you face any issues or problem or anything that you can share with the team building? So, you will not be alone, obviously. So, while making a team, what
No, your
factors did
last
you
line
consider?
was missed actually.
What?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, so when you started your journey, you must have uh, made a team of different expertise, we can say. So during that time, can you share your experience related to that part of your journey where you form a team for starting your venture?
Yeah. So for me, this journey is interesting. I take a strong decision when I have a situation where I have to apply a new, the employee pass for Singapore. So because I was based out of Singapore last couple of years when I was in my job. So then the final decision when I'm taking, like, should I go back to Kolkata or should I extend my, the EP pass for next 5 years? Um, Also there are another things is came to my life because due to my marriage. So people are, my family has started thinking for the marriage. So that time I took a bold decision. I come back to Kolkata, and without saying anybody, like, I left my job immediately. Okay. And the good thing was happened, like, I got one grant from DBT Bayrek. So then in my team, there are additionally, initial days, I am the only one. And then slowly, I am an electronics graduate, so I know the electronics. In my experience, I gathered some knowledge in AI and worked in a big company like Grant Thornton and all. So I have a basic business sense. So started with a solo founder. Okay. Then started talking to the people, try to onboard some of the good mind of people, because, that's the biggest challenge to taking maybe the co-founder or maybe the partner or maybe the team member as a good mindset, where your thought process and your team member thought process would come in a single line. That is very, very crucial. So I take very long time to onboard and create my team. So today we have the people who are having, today my belief is in these 2 years of journey, we have a very strong team, good people in electronics, IT, biomedical and all. And another good thing is in my investor board, all the investors and the advisors, I'm really happy to take them on board because they all are in the same mindset. So that's a big point. In my past startup, when I was fail, due to my co-founders are not aligned with my idea, aligned with my thought process, aligned with my strategic decisions. So that's why the company was fail. So whoever thinking for as an entrepreneur or making something big in the life, then the building team is very crucial, and we have to focus on the team first prior to the product.
That's a very good quote you gave to all our participants. I think team is very important for any startup to grow to a greater heights.
I have, sorry, Abhishek, to interrupt you. Yeah, so I want to ask something else. Like to start anything, how did you look for the funding opportunities? Obviously, you had something in your mind. You had at least little plans to go ahead. So, how did you approach funding agencies, or from where you got the information about fundings?
So truly speaking, people thought like after somebody coming after 10 years of journey, maybe have some cash. But truly speaking, I don't have any cash. So when I left the job, I have only 1 month of salary. But what I observed when I left my job and started this new company, prior to that, I started putting some application for various grants. And if somebody of you are thinking to make one new idea or the entrepreneurship journey, then please go through the LinkedIn and all the places, all this Startup India portal. Every day there are a huge funding opportunity from Government of India. Every department, DST, DBT, every places. So initially I got BIREC big grant. Then after 6 months, I got another grant of DST. Then I got Indian Oil grant until 2 years. I mean, we have the age of 2 years of EGRX. So in these 2 years, we survive completely through the grant money, and we build the product, have some revenue, and first round of investment was done in the after first year. We raised only 25 lakhs rupees, and now we are in the second round of investment. We are raising now around the value of around 2 crore. So all are HNIs, some institutional investor, and some of the the organizational investor. What I understand and what my experience says, maybe I'm not the successful entrepreneur today, but what I understand is, don't go to the investor from the day one. And also having one filter in your mind to identify the good investor and the strategic investor. I mean, I don't say the bad investor, but definitely the good set of people and the bad set of people. You have to clarify first. I mean, you have to identify the investors. And then initial days, focus on some of the strategic investor. Strategic investor in the sense who will give the money, as well as giving some market access, maybe some strategic decision, maybe some IT advisory, maybe some hardware knowledge and all. So he can take your product to the market, or maybe some taking it to the next level of investor and all. So I am also focusing on initial days some strategic investor. There are many VC was interested to put the money in our company, but we didn't take it. In my current investors, the people, all are people are like a strategic. Somebody are expert in hardware, maybe running some companies 10-12 years. Somebody are the national partner for big IT companies like Accenture or Capgemini. Some are the the what I can say impact investor. So take some small money from the market, from the initial investment, as an initial investment, or maybe the grants. Then put this money, leverage 100% of this money, make the product or the service what you are working for at least ready for the market. Then go to the investor. Then your valuation will come into the picture. Your good valuation will come. Or else in the market, there are most of the people who are so-called investor or the strategic investor, or what maybe they say, or maybe the mentor and all are opportunistic. If you are not fit for the market, then very soon you will be vanished. So the journey should be take a small money, utilize it, make the product or the service, go to the some initial validation, go to the some customer, give the product, take the feedback, then improve your product again. Then prior to the commercialization, you go and raise some good money. But money is very crucial. In these 2 years, we maintain the cash flow very properly. There are none of the month was there like we are looking for some money to pay for the salary, because I always save the money, and prior to the 3-4 months or most of the time 6 months of the backup I have. I mean, we applied for regular basis the grants, competitions, awards and all. So you have to focus on the cash flow, raising money in proper time, do the strategic calculation for next 6 months, probably the next 1 year maybe, and based on that you make some plan for the investor, and don't raise a big number of money what is not required for you today. Maybe today I can raise $2 million fund, but I am not raising the $2 million fund. Now my target is I want to raise at least 2 CR of the fund, maybe 1.5 to 2 CR money. Then that will give you the runway of next 2 years. And meanwhile, by the next 2 years, I should raise a revenue of minimum 5 CR. And the expansion plan of at least 2-3 countries. Then I'll go for a big money, maybe the Series A or something. But I mean, the note is, I am not a successful guy today, and I am not an expert, but that's my own opinion.
Yeah, that's so great of you. So that is also a good takeaway.
Follow the every family have somebody in the family, like my mom or maybe the wife or someone who actually having, let's say, 4-5 potatoes today, but when somebody is going to the market, then see a little, okay, I don't have potato, please buy something. But all is going to the stock for next 2-3 days. So when you are running a company, at least a startup, so you have a money shortage always. So don't over expense yourself. Try to reduce your cost, always focusing. It's not like that you should cut your salary should cut the salary from the others. Don't do that, because team is also important. But focusing like don't over expense, don't do anything which is not required right now, and then make your cash flow properly. Maintain the plan, maintain your Excel sheet like the cash flow, and always focus on that. I saw some of the startup when I was in Grant Thornton. I saw some of my friends. What they did is, the sale also very high. Every month they do the sales of, let's say, 25-30 lakhs rupees, and their burn also very high. Money is not coming properly. So that's the reason most of the startup fail, due to this bad cash flow maintenance. So do the cash flow properly, then you can make success.
Thanks, Partha, for this detailed explanation. I had one more question. Does your since it's a small enterprise, do you also get support from Ministry of Small, Micro and Medium Enterprises, which was like Ministry of Small Scale Industries before?
Like till date, we applied many schemes in MSME, but I didn't get anything till today.
Mm-hmm. But can you explain what are their funding?
So there are one
opportunities they give?
Sorry, repeat once.
Can you give us some details about what funding opportunities they give, how much money they give, and what are the what options they have? If you have
who MSME?
Yeah, MSME.
So in MSME, I tried for only one application, which is called Rurban, but now it is on hold due to this COVID. I never tried MSME earlier. What the path I follows is, there are many smaller grant in DST. So all these incubation center I think have the Nidhi Prayas grant. It's having 10 lakhs rupees of money. So make your prototype ready. Then then there is a big grant called DBT BIRAC big grant. So they will give a money of around 50 lakhs rupees. Okay, make your product ready. Um, and then there's a very big money is going on like in PSUs as giving the more grants and all. And today I think MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and IT, MSME all are started.
Mhm.
So my suggestion should be don't go to your thought process. Connect to any of the incubation center. They have all these facilities, making product ready, connecting to for the clinical trial if you are from the biotech or the health tech. Then they have the funding network in the government grants, and then subsequently in the follow-on funding, they have your initial market ready plan. So don't waste your time. Put your more time in the innovation and connect to the some places of incubation where you can get all this kind of requirement. I think your college also have some of the incubation center, right?
Yes,
Incubation facilities.
yes. MNIT also has an incubation
Yeah.
center. Uh,
I visited last year in Jaipur, a Jaipur ASSOCHAM launchpad. So I was the first. I got the first place in that, and then subsequently we were discussing with the MSME. Probably Honorable Prime Minister will talk to us within short time. I think in next 1 month or something.
Excellent.
Thanks, Parth. We had one more question
Yeah.
from Mr. Barbole. He asked about the certification. So, if you develop these devices, what are the
Mhm.
certifications you have to obtain and how you do it?
Yeah. So I
I,
already discussed.
I guess
So you have to
yes.
go for the first clinical trial. Then based on the clinical trial report, you have to go to the CDSCO one department. So then CDSCO will first give you the give you the certificate. Then it depends what are the other certification is required. It depends on the class of the device. So if it is a medical device, then which category it falls, based on that your next regulatory plan you should have. So like for me, CDSO is already done. I have ISO 13485. Now I applied for European CE certifications. Maybe then finally when you will be in US, then there is a less chance, but there is a chance to apply for US FDA.
Mhm. Thanks, Parth. I think we had quite a good question and answer session, and you explained very well all the questions from the participants as well as from us. So, thanks a lot, Parth, for taking this time and explaining about your startup and also your experiences. We wish you very best in the future and hope that this device uh, will be used in most of the hospitals around the country in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with this, we are closing this session. Now we will meet at 3 p.m. sharp. So that will be our last session of this online short-term training program. That will be conducted by Mr. Rahul Chatterjee, who is the co-founder and director of Kriya Foods and Beverages Private Limited.
Yeah, this is my email ID, and
Sorry,
this
there
is
was
my
a
phone number.
Thank you. Kunal, you were saying something?
yeah, sorry. So there was a little problem at my side. Internet. So we will be meeting at 3 p.m. sharp. So the another session and last of our online short-term programs. So that will be conducted by Mr. Rahul Chatterjee, co-founder and director of Kriya Foods and Beverages Private Limited. After that, immediately once his session is over, we will be having our feedback session as told you earlier. So with this, I again thank Parth from the whole team of this online short-term program. Uh, before closing, just there is one last question that we will be taking. Sorry, I lost it. Mr. Sandeep Dhamle has asked. Can you please go through the chat section, Abhishek?
Parth, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Sandeep is asking, could you please tell on what condition funding is provided for startups?
Yeah, it depends the type of funding. No, if you are receiving grant, then uh, there is no condition. I mean, you have to complete your task and you submit to the agency. That's it. But if you are going for a funding like a equity round of funding, then definitely people will ask you what is the return you should give, right? So the grant money is free. It is free money basically. But if you are taking investors on board, then yes, they have the business interest. They have, I mean, definitely one investor is putting money means is looking for a good return from you. That's the bottom line.
So he means to say about conditions as in shares or percentages like.
Yeah, so that I told, no, equity. So equity means it's a share. So let's say I want to put some money to any of the company, then definitely I mean there will be a company valuation, and based on that, let's say 100 crore is the valuation, and somebody want to put 1 crore, then 1% of the share should go.
So thank you, Parth. With this, we close this session. I have already posted the link for attendance. So if you have marked the attendance, then we will meet at 3 p.m. sharp. So thank you. So that link will be active for 5 more minutes. Once that is over, I'll close this session. Thank you, Parth.
Thank you everyone. So I am leaving the session now. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. All the best.
Kunal will be here for some time.
Yes, I'll be.
Okay.
I guess I'll again.
You send it again. I will send it again.
Okay. Yeah, so Dr. Abhishek has already posted it again. Next session time is 3 p.m. sharp. So that is again another company of obviously different sector from foods and beverages sector. So we haven't had any session or any speaker from that sector, we can say. So that will again be a different and whole new experience for you all guys, including obviously our team. Once you mark your attendance, you may please continue with your work, and then we will be meeting at 3 for last session of this day as well as of this program.